there's another sticky question that's come up and is in the ether at the moment, in the zeitgeist at the moment, rather, is Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh.
And the Epstein Files Transparency Act has just passed the US Congress with a near unanimous vote of 427-1. Very brave Louisiana Republican there who voted the sole vote
Who was it?
against
Who was it that voted
a guy
against?
called Clay Higgins is the sole dissenter, and he cited he was worried about violations of national security risks. But anyway, perhaps he should be investigated first and foremost.
Yeah.
But Jeffrey Epstein is kind of now it's been covert for a while, or implicit for a while, that people are thinking that this is sort of, he's an Israeli state operative. But now it's kind of open, and Marjorie Taylor Greene would be a famous example of a politician saying that she believes that Israel are behind him. And it is true that Epstein has many links to Israel. But what's curious is that the Israelis have their whole other set of conspiracy theories when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein. And I wondered if you might shed some light on this. For a start, Benjamin Netanyahu in the 2019 election was using Epstein to bait Ehud Barak, his opponent, and saying, you have friendship even with the paedophile Epstein, even after he was convicted of sexual offenses. And I wondered what the opinion was within Israel of Epstein, and to get a different a view of how it's all plays out in the imagination there.
The issue with Epstein, everyone is against it, right to left, against him.
In Israel, yeah.
Yeah. It's not really an issue. It's not something that's talked about a lot, not in the media, not on the street. Nobody really cares about this. And if asked, obviously they're against it and think that it's despicable. I think the idea that Epstein worked with Israel or was like an agent is laughable to most Israelis. There's no evidence of this. Of course, he knew people. He knew everyone. He knew all kinds of state leaders. And yeah, obviously it's being used as a political cudgel, in the United States, from the right against the left, from the left against the right. And as you mentioned, also Netanyahu mentioned this as well. But beyond that, there's not really much there. I think that the reason it keeps getting brought up is again, a conspiracy by people who are conspiracy theorists like Marjorie Taylor Greene. The woman thinks that, there's Jewish space lasers. So she's a little bit not all there in the first place. And she's tapping into really a anti-Semitic rage that exists to peddle these conspiracies the same way that Candace Owens does. And that's a very, very dangerous thing to be doing. And I know that the issue with Jeffrey Epstein and even the allegation of him being an Israeli spy or something is not even something that's spoken about in Israel, because it's like so much a non-issue on that front. This is something that's completely exists within mostly the American right conversation and space. It's not something I have heard almost ever in Hebrew media.
Yeah, it's. There is no incontrovertible. There's no evidence that says without doubt that he is a sort of Mossad agent, or even an Israeli state agent. There's nothing I've seen that that's why there's so many conspiracy theories about it. But to say that it's laughable, there is a lot of information there that links him to. But I mean, like you say, you can link me to, probably the Qataris somehow. There's everyone is linked to everyone. But with him, he was doing business deals with Israelis. His Ghislaine Maxwell, his partner, her father.
That's because he's in this. Also, was in those circles because he's Jewish. He was a Jewish American, but he also had deals with Saudis. He also had deals with Arab states. So the idea that we're focusing again exclusively on Israel and the Jewish issue is in and of itself anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
And a lot of this started with conversations of people just asking questions like Candace Owens, despite the fact that there's no evidence of anything.
Right.
So even the conversation continuously coming up, which it is increasingly so, I think is evidence of the fact that there isn't really anything there. I mean, it's nonsense. It's just something that people want to talk about because they want to continue to make this issue somehow related to the state of Israel when there really isn't any evidence to suggest that, other than the fact he knew them. He knew some people. He knew some leaders. Some of them, like Ehud Barak, was allegedly there. And he also knew leaders from all kinds of other countries, including the UK.
So I did a long interview with Michael Tracy, who's gone through all of the evidence, and it's kind of never ending, but basically it's all circumstantial. And it seems to me that it hasn't been helped by the fact that Trump didn't release the files, and there was that weird incident with Pam Bondi earlier this year where they were like going to release the file. She promised them the next day, then didn't release them, then released these redacted files to all these. It just has not helped at all.
Yep.
I guess we'll wait and see. My feeling is that even if they release all of them and it proves that there's no link, that the Candace owners of the world will continue with their conspiracies.
Yeah. I do think it's good that they released it. I think it's overdue. I think it's been a political issue that, the left didn't want and the right didn't want for different reasons. And I think it's absolutely the right thing for them to release it. I hope they release absolutely everything.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for watching this clip from the Winston Marshall Show. You can click here to watch the full episode, and for more clips like this one, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, be well.